it's incredible. You made history this year. Your endorsement. You're a man so respected in your state and across the country that your endorsement really did change history and change the trajectory of this presidential race.
Well, thank you very much for saying that. But, you know, I do know Joe. And I think we've seen in this campaign that Joe knows this country very well. But even more importantly, Joe respects this country. He understands, he exemplifies what is good about these United States of America. As I watched that collage of those concession speeches, I thought back to that contributor, that issue expressed by a lot of people say it was Alexis de Tocqueville. Maybe John Meacham can help us, because I've not been able to find that de Tocqueville ever said this. But supposedly, de Tocqueville said, America is great because its people are good. And if the people of America ever cease to be good, America will cease to be great. I think that's what's on trial in this campaign, the goodness of America. And you saw Democrats and Republicans just demonstrating what is good about this country. The fact that we are not enemies of each other. We are sometimes opponents. But when the contest is over, we come together and do what is necessary to continue that journey towards a more perfect union. That is the pursuit that we are on. And I'm hopeful that when the polls close today, we will know that this country is continuing that pursuit. We won't ever get to perfection, but we always must pursue perfection. Don't step back from it. And I do believe that we will continue that tonight.
Congressman Clyburn, it's Willie. It's good to see you this morning. Obviously, your endorsement was crucial. It perhaps changed the trajectory of this race, maybe even of history. But as you've said, in the months since, it was the voters who actually delivered the outcome for Joe Biden. So what do you see in your state right now? It probably won't tip Joe Biden's way, but let's talk about Jamie Harrison, for example. We had him on the show a short time ago running against Senator Lindsey Graham. How do you see that race playing out, and how much will this turnout that we've seen across the country play into it?
Well, you know, I watched Jamie on your show this morning, and I texted him immediately thereafter. I told him I thought he was fantastic this morning. Last night, I was with Jamie as he closed his campaign there in Orangeburg, his hometown, where I went to college. And Jamie did a tribute last night to my late wife, who he called his political mother. She loved Jamie. And Jamie has demonstrated himself to be a winner. He is a winner. What remains to be seen is whether or not he can get elected to the United States Senate. He just ran a campaign upon which a well-laid foundation was. Jamie's 44 years old. He got started in this business when he was in the 11th grade. He's been in my life ever since. And I've not been able to get him out of it. I never wanted to get him out of it. But he has shown young people that he has brought into this effort how to do it. Lay the foundation. Build upon that foundation. Stay connected to your constituents. People have fallen in love with Jamie because Jamie has demonstrated that he is all about them and not about him. And that is what has been demonstrated in this campaign. Now, we had a big hole in South Carolina to build out of politically. You know, Joe Scarborough has been down here time and time again, helping establish that Republican beachhead here in South Carolina. It's kind of tough, but Joe may surprise people in South Carolina tonight, and I really feel that Jamie will.
All right.
Wow. Mike Barnicle's got a question for you, Congressman. Mike?
Sure.
Congressman, you have lived a life, and when I see you, when I look at you, I see wisdom. So I'm going to ask you this question. The toxicity that has invaded our politics and our cultural lives in this country existed before Donald Trump. It's not all on him, but he certainly ignited fires of intolerance that didn't exist prior to 2016. What do we do about that existing fire of intolerance and hatred and division that has so consumed so many of us in this country?
Well, thank you for that, Mike. You know, I just talked about a statement that a lot of people attribute to Alexis de Tocqueville, which I can't find that he ever said it. But let me tell you what he did say. In his 2-volume book, A Democracy in America, de Tocqueville said this: America's greatness is not because it is more enlightened than any other nation, but rather because it has always been able to repair its faults. Now, that means that when faults occur, America comes together to repair it. A fault occurred 4 years ago. We elected a president that has gone about the business of dividing this country, of turning people against each other, of bringing insult into the White House, the kind of stuff that none of us ever thought that we would see from an American president. So let's hope that America once again will go about the business of repairing its fault. That was a fault. Let's repair it in this election. I sincerely hope that we do. And that's what we can do. Elect a good man. Joe Biden is a good man. Let's restore goodness in the White House, and we will maintain greatness for this country.
Amen. House Majority Whip Jim Clyburn of South Carolina, thank you very, very much for being on. We will see you soon.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.